Those were the headlines, ladies and gentlemen, but let's now look at the big story we're tracking right here on Startup Central. Well, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was in India this morning. The last time when he came to India was in 2023. This time around, he is visiting India as part of his multi-country tour. He's been to Japan, he's been to Korea, he will be in France in just a few days from now, and today he was in India. But what does he really think of India? Well, he called India an incredible market for AI, stating that Indian users of OpenAI have tripled in the last 1 year. And now the country is OpenAI's second largest market in the world, just after the United States. Altman was in conversation with India's Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. And in attendance at that event, as you can see from on your television screens, were leaders from the startup fraternity, AI companies, developers, as well as investors. So let's take a look at the key things that Sam Altman said today. Number one, he said that AI models are still not cheap, but they are doable. And he said that India should be a leader there in that space, of course. He lauded India's efforts in AI, and he said that those efforts are working already. He said that AI will have a bad impact on cybersecurity. Now, he was responding to a question on cybersecurity by Union IT Minister. Sam Altman also stated that reduction in the cost of AI models is quite exciting. Of course, there was a lot of conversation around, where will the costing of models be in the future, given that we've seen DeepSeek being built at a fraction of the cost of ChatGPT. But let's listen into this snippet from that conversation that he had with Minister Vaishnaw.
So we are very much focused on democratizing technology, as in making technology accessible to everybody, as in making the development opportunities available to a very large number of startups and ecosystem researchers. Simultaneously, in our case, in the India AI mission, we'll be working on all the three layers. At the chip design level, having our own GPU, at the foundational level, and we'll collaborate very actively with OpenAI, and at the application layer. Of course, we are creating certain very good data sets, which will be used for training the models in Indian context, in terms of its language, the cultural nuances, the regional nuances within the country, all that stuff that's very complex. So for that will require a very good, well-curated data sets which can be used for training. So in a sense, we are working on the entire spectrum at this point of time, and we want to be very rapid adopters. Our country has been quick adapter of technology with the Digital India, as all of us know. We are one of those countries which have digitalized transactions and day-to-day living in a very big way. So we would like to take lead in that.
India is an incredibly important market for AI in general, for OpenAI in particular. It's our second biggest market, tripled users here in the last year. But mostly seeing what people in India are building with AI at all levels of the stack, chips, models, all of the incredible applications. So I think India should be doing everything. I think India should be one of the leaders of the AI revolution. It's really quite amazing to see what the country has done and embraced the technology and building, again, the entire stack of things on top of it.
And also with the recent developments, do you have a different view around the cost of building foundational models?
Yeah. So first of all, if that's a reference to a comment I made here a few years ago about the cost, I think that was taken out of context. That was a very specific time when there was a certain scaling thing where I thought, it's gonna, and I still think to stay on that frontier of pre-trained models is expensive. But one of the most exciting things that's happened to me since, that I think has happened in the industry since, is we're now in a world where we made incredible progress with distillation. We learned a lot to do small models, and these reasoning models in particular can be, it's not cheap, it's still expensive to train them, but it's doable. And I think that's going to lead to an explosion of really great creativity, and India should be a leader there, of course. There's two sort of different ways you can look at the costs of models. So to stay at the frontier, we believe those costs will continue to rise on this exponential curve, but also the returns to increasing intelligence are exponential in terms of the economic value, the scientific value that you can create. So, we're doing this big Stargate project, and that's going to go like this. On the other side of it, the cost for a given unit of intelligence 1 year later seems to fall by about 10x. Moore's law was a 2x every 18 months for the number of transistors on a chip, and that changed the world if you waited a few decades. But what's happening with the reduction in cost in AI models is extraordinary. Now, I don't think it means that the world's going to need any less AI hardware, because you bring the cost down and just the people are going to use it for a lot more things. The total number of dollars will go up. But that's a really exciting thing happening.
Lots of innovation is happening. As Sam said, every year it's 10x reduction in the cost of intelligence. That kind of innovation can come from anywhere in the world. Why shouldn't it come from India? That's the point.
Sure.
And our young entrepreneurs, our startups, our researchers, they are really, really focused on getting that next level of innovation, which will reduce the cost. See, our country sent a mission to the moon at a fraction of the cost that many other countries did, right? Why can't we do a model which will be a fraction of the cost that many other countries do? So yes, innovation will bring that cost down. We think that that kind of thing will come out.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember Sam Altman was criticized in 2023 for his comments on expressing doubts about India's ability to develop AI models comparable to OpenAI software. He had then dismissed the idea of competing with US tech giants on foundational model training, although he had encouraged Indian firms to continue striving regardless of the challenges. And today he said that his comments were taken out of context in a surprising turnaround. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, as you must have just heard, he expressed strong support for India's growing role in artificial intelligence. And moving on, how can Indian startup ecosystem deepen its collaboration with OpenAI, and how's the sector looking at rapid strides that are currently happening in the sector? Well, I caught up with startup mavens and investors attending the event, including Paytm's Vijay Shekhar Sharma, and more. Take a look.
Yeah, there is a concept of a reasoning model on top of this intelligence model and so on. So I think a lot of startups and investors are trying to find out the place in the value chain where they will play, and a lot of questions and calibrations happen on that.
Yes. So just final two questions before we let you go. This is on India's AI model that Minister Vaishnaw announced about 10 days back, that India will be developing its own AI model. Now, when it comes to the strengths that India really has, where do you think that strength really comes from, and what are India's strengths as of now, and what are you pushing for more to build India's AI ecosystem?
Frugality at scale. That's it, what India is. You saw the Paytm revolution,
yes.
The QR inherently, what we gave to this country is a model in the world now, where the merchant can get onboarded by a paper QR. So I'd say, and then you see ISRO, and then you see what AI does. So I think the frugality at scale is India's value prop, offering, and opportunity.
And
I feel that there's a lot of these concerns that India is falling behind is really overblown. We are just getting started in this whole AI wave and generation of AI-led innovation. There are obviously a lot of discussion about the foundational models, but also in the end, the applications are very critical. If you don't have a whole array of what I call thick wrapper, like significant applications that sit on top of these foundational models, how will AI actually improve the world, right? So I feel India is doing a lot of innovative stuff on the applications, and there is a big push from the government and from private companies on the foundational models as well.
And of course, the Union Minister was speaking about the three bases that India will be developing its own AI model. One final question, Kunal. As an investor, how are you looking at investing into AI companies, and what will be key to your investments, and what is the basis for you?
Yeah, so we are looking at companies and have already invested in companies and are, as we speak, investing in more companies that are building what we call thick wrappers, where they are going deep into specific use cases, where they're leveraging AI to solve for use cases that a horizontal AI platform can't solve or do a good job of, but contextually can understand a particular market, a particular sector, a particular company better, or set of companies better, and solve for them.
Next 2 to 3 years, you will see a massive progress in India. These are very early days.
But how does a company like yours, looking at AI in the education field specifically with respect to ROI on deploying artificial intelligence in your business, are you seeing those results come out? Are you seeing those kind of efficiencies being driven by AI?
See, we have a product called AirLearn. It is totally like a massively AI-based product which helps you to learn language. So for specific use cases where things can scale very rapidly, AI has already proven that it gives better ROI, and it is only a matter of time because these are early days. I still remember smartphones came 25 years ago, prohibitively expensive. Only 1% Indians could use. Now it's like 50 crore Indians are using it. So with like 4 or 5 years down the line, when the cost is 100th and the compute power is 1000th, so it will be like millions of orders of magnitude better. Okay. So at that level, we are already deploying it right now, but at that level, the switch will happen, and more and more deployment will.
So I think
I think they've consistently maintained that OpenAI is very excited about India. It ends up being a large market for them for ChatGPT as well as enterprise use cases. And I think there's a lot of things that they can do over here directly with startups, developers, enterprises, and also, of course, with government as part of what we're trying to do at India AI Mission.
Okay. So is India looking at partnering with OpenAI in the near future, because India is also building its own AI model?
I think there are many ways in which we can partner with them. Today, of course, was very exploratory conversations. I think we'll now move 3-4 threads ahead to see where this gets.
India can collaborate with OpenAI in very many ways, at least the 3 pillars on which it is building its AI model on. Well, that's the word coming in from Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. He tweeted the same, of course, while tweeting a clip from the event itself. But ladies and gentlemen, some related developments also happening. So let's take a look at this story. Well, sources suggest that Finance Ministry has asked its employees to avoid using AI tools like ChatGPT and DeepSeek on their official devices. Now, this is coming in even as there is a push by the government to adopt AI as much as possible and as fast as possible. Remember, some of those concerns have been raised by countries like the United States with respect to DeepSeek and Australia as well. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for us to step into a quick break, but lots more coming up on the other side. You don't want to miss all of that, so stay tuned.